Welcome to Good Times with Alex and Ryan. I'm Ryan Sprague. You can follow me on any social media at Ryan W. Sprague. Hey, if you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button, get that notification down, or if you're on another social network that says follow, click that follow button. And thank you. Thank you, Good Times gang, for following Alex.
Hey, Alex Vanover here. Just got his third win. And you can follow me on Twitter at VanDollar15. You can follow me on YouTube at Alex Vanover, and you can follow me on the gram at Alex Vanover15.
It's all about the gram.
Graham Crackers.
It's a song. It's a song.
Don't be like that guy in our news episode that was sending 32 bags of marijuana to the wrong house, Ryan.
All right, let's get this show on the road. What do we got? We got some shows. We're going to talk about TV shows this episode.
Today's episode is going to be television, Ryan.
Woohoo!
Are you a big TV guy, Ryan? Do you watch a lot of TV?
No.
Well, this is the episode for you then. I bet you've really been looking forward to it.
All right. I have my own show. It's called Good Times with Alex and Ryan.
You just sit in your room and rewatch old episodes of this over and over again. You're like, man, that was good.
I love watching my face. It's so wonderful and beautiful and awesome and great.
That's Donald Trump.
Fantastic face.
It's going to be tremendous. It was a tremendous good time.
If you ever want to watch Good Times, you know where to go for a good time. Tremendous, amazing, absolutely awesome good time. Follow Good Times with Alex and Ryan.
Ryan, so you don't watch TV now, but what about when you were a kid? What kind of shows did you watch when you were younger?
Oh, let's see here. I watched when I was a kid. I'll just name off some shows that I've watched. I love Lost. That show. This is like my favorite. I like what's that? Sherlock, the British version Sherlock. I like The Office. I like
World's Best Boss. See that? That's a mug. World's Best Boss.
World's Best Boss.
And he got it for himself. Pretty much says it all.
Yeah, that's a great show. That one. What other show do I like? Oh man, there's this one, The Good Doctor, that I kind of watched off and on. I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see here. What other shows have I watched? The Big Bang Theory. My wife got me into that a little bit.
I love The Big Bang Theory. Hey, can I tell you something real quick about The Big Bang Theory? Every time I would watch that show, you know how they eat in like almost every episode they're eating something? Like two or three scenes. I would be taken out of the show because they would have their fork and they'd be raking it over top of the food. They'd never actually eat anything. I would be like, this offends me that they think that I'm not paying attention to this. Like, it was the same thing with Saved by the Bell when they'd go into the Max and they'd order a burger and fries and a drink, and then like they'd leave and not touch anything. They ordered the food. They didn't pay for it. They didn't eat any of it. They're gone.
So, what was the one with Tom Selleck and was it Magnum PI or?
Tom Selleck's been in a bunch of shows.
The movie like Higgins.
Oh, that's Magnum PI.
Yeah. So whenever you watch that, or you just like trying to feed him, and you're like none for you, Tom Selleck. That's for Higgins. Sorry, that's a Family Guy joke,
dude. Higgins was like immaculately dressed at all time, and his mustache was perfectly styled every episode. That guy was stylish.
He's like, yes, I'm just the guy here to that they make fun of. That's my whole purpose.
How are you doing today, Magnum? Got another assignment for you today, Magnum. Your mustache looks very thick and luscious today, Magnum. So hey, some shows that I watched as a kid. I was a big Nickelodeon guy.
Oh, so, yeah. Okay.
Oh my gosh,
we go there.
dude.
I've seen a lot of those.
Eureka's Castle was a big one that I watched. I don't know if you watched. Did you watch that?
No.
They had the character I really liked on Eureka's Castle was Magellan. He was a dragon, and he would always lose his tail.
Oh, okay. Now I remember.
Yeah, the tail was its own character. The tail would be moving on its own.
Yeah,
away from Magellan.
Vaguely remember. It was like a cartoon-ish.
Yeah, it was like a puppet show.
Yeah.
Wembley the bat, but the bat was blind because bats are blind, and he had glasses. He was flying into the castle all the time. I love David the Gnome. I was
that was a good one.
So I had fantasies about riding a fox like forever because of that show. Clarissa Explains It All, Welcome Back Freshmen, Real Monsters, Hey Arnold, Rugrats, Doug, Wild and Crazy Kids. Love huge.
Yeah, I love Doug.
I couldn't wrap my mind. Mckenzie and I were in 7th grade, and
you decided to start a band called The Beats.
No. There's an episode where they're going to start summer, and him and Skeeter are constantly saying like how many days are left before summer, and they're like 4 days. So Mckenzie and I were doing that in real life, counting down the days till summer, right?
Yeah.
So that memory sticks out in my head. At the same time, I had to stay after school in Mrs. Moyer's science class, and she's like, "You're coming to class, after school because you're in trouble because you wouldn't shut up during class." So Mckenzie, in order to leave the junior high, we had to walk by her room. So Mckenzie walked in front of her door, and I walked like identically in step with him to his side, and we walked right past her room, and I got out of it.
Gosh.
I was like, screw that. I'm not going to her room. Are you kidding? Bye. Yeah. Like, you're not enforcing that. I'll see you later, lady.
You watch the slime one? What was that?
Oh, yeah. Wait, you can't do that on television?
No, where you get slimed.
Double Dare?
What? Yeah, Double Dare. Double Dare was big.
I knew a kid who was on Double Dare.
Oh, wow.
Aaron's good friend Josh Terry was on Double Dare. They were on Family Double Dare. And they lost. They didn't make it, very far. But I heard that he was on Double Dare and actually saw the episode, and everybody just called him Double Dare. That was in town. That was his nickname. Yeah.
Wow.
He had the pants and everything. He got to bring home all that stuff.
You remember the one with Stickly and what was that one? And then this was dinosaur called Boney.
I don't remember that, but Stickly was the guy who did the news. He was the news for Nickelodeon. Yeah.
Oh,
right to me, Stickly, 80813 or whatever it was. I remember. Yes. You remember Wienerville on Nickelodeon?
No.
Mark Wiener was this guy, and he would have his head, and then he'd have a little puppet's body around him, so he'd have tiny little arms and tiny little legs, and it was called Wienerville. You don't remember that at all?
Mm-mm.
Dude, check this out. So when I was younger, I would base my whole week around television, right?
Wow.
Sunday night was In Living Color, the sketch comedy show on Fox.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, Damon Wayans and Jim Carrey and everybody. That was so awesome to watch that show. If you didn't watch In Living Color and you went to Bangor the next day and didn't know what happened, you're a loser. You are a loser.
That was the lesser SNL, right?
Yeah, but it was newer. It was fresher. I think it was even more... I hate to say this word. I think it was more hip at the time.
Oh.
It was more current to what was going on. I think SNL was having a hard time in the early 90s. Until Sandler and Farley and those guys showed up, they were struggling.
They had a total dream team then.
Oh, then for sure. But in 90s.
And then they killed them all off at one episode. Yeah, we're all done. You guys all jump off this bridge.
I think Lorne Michaels fired a lot of those guys. Adam Sandler got fired. He didn't leave. Yeah, Adam Sandler did not leave that show because he wanted to leave it. He was fired.
What did they do?
I don't know why they got rid of him.
Because this was a show made in the 70s, and they were all doing cocaine and just partying and going
Farley
crazy.
Was eating 5 16-ounce prime ribs and doing shots of freaking Jägermeister and cocaine and whatever else he was doing, speedballs before the show, and just absolutely hilarious, falling through tables, living in a van down by the river. So Sunday night was In Living Color. Monday night was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Then, Ryan, we're going to get into the heart of the week here. We're getting to Friday because that was TGIF, man. You remember? Did you watch TGIF at all on ABC?
I didn't know that was a show.
It was a block. It was a show block. So you'd watch Full House, Family Matters, Step by Step, Boy Meets World, Sister Sister. It had 6 or 7 shows that were just, you had to watch them at that age. And I
didn't know what I was doing. Well, not watching that.
Not having a good time, obviously. So. I'm going to have to talk to your parents about this because this is bugging me. And then Saturday night was Snick. Saturday Night Nickelodeon. Did you watch that at all?
No. Maybe some few shows. I don't know.
Ryan.
I remember. Okay, so here's my shows that I watched.
All right.
Nick at Night. Whatever was on Nick at Night, I watched that.
So you were living well then, because Nick at Night is exquisite.
It had like I Love Lucy. It had Happy Days. Those were good shows.
Do you remember watching Nick at Night?
Bewitched.
Hey, do you remember? What about Nick at Night in the summertime, Ryan? When they had like a 4-hour block of Bewitched. So it'd be like it'd be Bewitched Mondays, like Happy Days Fridays. Mckenzie might actually know this because we started watching those together, and Mckenzie would plan his evenings around what show was airing that night. He's like, dude, I can't do anything Wednesday night because Hogan's Heroes is on Wednesday nights, and I'm not available. And Odd Couple is on Thursday, so I'm also not really available then either. I mean, I could maybe show up.
Get Smart.
Yeah, Get Smart. All that stuff, man. Mike, I've told you this before, man. All those shows, I grew up watching those late at night with Mary Tyler Moore, Dick Van Dyke.
Oh yeah, Mary Tyler.
I'm watching those shows at 2:00 in the morning when I have to go to school the next day. In my grandma's living room. My grandma just didn't give a crap that I had to get up early at all. Do you watch, Ryan? Do you watch reality TV at all?
So I've seen. What was one? Okay. So there was one that I saw a full season of, and it was the very first season of Big Brother.
Okay.
And I kind of like that.
I like Big Brother, yeah.
But it was just the very first season. The other ones, they kind of went just downhill because they just from there. Because they kind of had normal people in the very first season. Some normal people.
Okay.
And then after that, they're like
actual real people.
Yeah. But after that, it's like, okay, we got to get some drama people. Okay, more drama. And pretty much, it turned into this drama people. But right at the very first one, it was normal. They were all normal people.
I like Big Brother. The concept is intriguing to me. I like the idea that they have to some of them will lose on purpose to stay in the house, right? They'll not win competitions because if you come out of the gate too hot in that game, you'll have a big target on your back and they'll vote you out of the house. Like if you don't win the veto competition or any of that stuff, you're in trouble. So sometimes the weakest people or the people that want to appear weak win the game.
Wow.
They might not win anything until the last episode because they've been pretending to not be strong the entire season.
Huh.
So, yeah, no, that show's crazy. That's a really interesting thing. As far as reality TV for me, I love true crime stuff, anything like that. I know it's not really reality TV. I used to watch a lot of MTV reality shows.
Yeah, well, what started all was that that MTV show, right?
The Real World.
The Real World, yeah, that started it.
Yeah, Road Rules was next on MTV. Yeah.
Do you remember Viva La Bam?
Yeah, I love that show. Oh man, don't get me started on Viva La Bam. That was the greatest show ever. Bam Margera.
What happened to that dude?
He has fallen on some hard times. He has been in and out of rehab, and but as far as that show goes, Ryan.
Dude, he was like the first Jake Paul.
You remember Don't Feed Phil Day when they he went around his hometown and told everybody they couldn't feed his dad because he bet his dad $10,000 that he couldn't eat all day for 24 hours, and if he did it, he'd give him $10,000. Wow. So his dad, he called all the local pizza places, all the taco places, all the hamburger places, and said, "Don't feed Phil." They made stickers. Yeah, they made shirts. It was Don't Feed Phil Day. What about the episode when he decided he asked his mom what her favorite color was, and her mom's like, his mom's like, "I like blue." So they went out of town for the weekend, and Bam painted everything in their house blue. Everything. The plastic fruit, the fridge.
The only thing I remember was that he cut a hole in the second story to make a fire pole to go down.
Yeah.
That's all I remember. Or seeing he made a skate park in the house or something.
Do you remember his tree fort he had on the property? He had a casino a treetop casino on his property. So he had a casino in a tree fort on his in his yard, and there was actual blackjack dealers and stuff up there.
So basically YouTube for a while, and it's still kind of this way, is they do pranks like that to get really popular and get shot up in the rankings. Mm-hmm. It's prank channels kind of like that. But they were the OGs, the originals on.
Ryan, when I watched a documentary on the making of Viva La Bam, And apparently how the show would go is like Bam and all of his friends and family made X amount of dollars, right? So that would count against the budget. But then they would have like another $300,000 left, right? Because they don't have an actual set. They're filming at Bam's like house and around his town. So Bam would just take that $300,000 and figure out ways he could do crazy stuff with it. So like if he wanted to rent an elephant for the day, he'd just rent an elephant because he's got X amount of dollars.
Wow.
And yeah, if he wanted to blow up his uncle's car that day, he'd just blow his uncle's car up, and then he'd use the rest of the budget just to buy him a new car, so he could blow it up again the next episode. I'm serious, man. That show is still good to this day. That was a good show, man. I miss that show. That was on MTV's Sunday Night Stew. It was called The Stew.
Oh my goodness, you know a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they would have like Jackass, Wild Boys.
Yeah, I remember Jackass.
All that.
It's just crazy.
What were you going to say before I cut you off?
No, I'm just surprised that you know all this. Like, I remember the time it was on the 8 o'clock slot, and
that was when that was when Punk'd was really big, because Punk'd was on the Sunday Stew. So Punk'd was part of that block. What is, in your opinion, and we're gonna piss everybody off in the chat, what's your favorite TV show? What's your favorite TV show of all time?
Mine?
Yes.
I already said it.
What? Say it again.
Lost.
That's your favorite? You didn't say that. You said it was one of your favorites. So that's your favorite show?
Yes.
Even though the ending was less than stellar.
Well, the whole show itself. I'm talking about the show.
The show was good.
Wasn't the best, but it was okay. But the whole show was like amazing to me.
Do you think that the writers knew going into that season that was going to be the last season? Maybe they had a hard time coming up with an ending because maybe they didn't know it was going to be the last season. Do you think that's what happened, or do you think
they knew it was the last season? They did. I don't know. I just think it was kind of weird because they had such a good show going, and then they made that weird ending.
Yeah, like it was purgatory, basically. Like they weren't. Yeah. Sorry, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the last episode of Lost. I just blew it.
Well, it wasn't. How did it go? I'm trying to figure out how it went. So, like, it was... Okay, there's going to be spoilers here if you haven't seen Lost or you want to see Lost. We're going to spoil the crap out of this right now.
So, hit pause or fast forward.
If you want to watch Lost the whole season. But let me see if I... there is kind of a meme going around. I don't understand the ending of Lost. I think... What was it? Okay, so what happened is Lost is like the real world. And then they die, and they're in purgatory. Like, so when they die and you see them again, they're in purgatory. But they're actually in the real world and Lost.
Dude.
Like in the normal. Yeah, you kind of see what I'm saying?
Yes. My biggest question about that TV show, even when I watched it, when it was season number 1, the guy who's really big on the island, right? And I understand that he was hoarding food. They caught him hoarding food, whatever. I was like, how has this guy been on this island for 9 years and he hasn't lost 1 pound? he was getting bigger. Like, so he was not a method actor, obviously.
There was a lot. You weren't the only person that said that.
No, I was like, how is this dude on a deserted island, like after a plane crash, and this guy's gaining weight? Like, he's hoarding all the coconuts and all the boars and all the exquisite animals that are on this island. Like, what's going on here? It totally took me out.
What happened to that guy? He was hilarious.
He's took his bags and bags of Lost money and moved off into the sunset. Now he's living his best life, probably.
Well, even that other guy, what was his name? The big main guy. Like, he kind of disappeared off the face of the earth.
He was in.
He was actually moved to Bend and got in some trouble.
Yeah, he was getting a bunch of DUIs.
Yeah.
He was in the movie We Are Marshall. He was starting to get Matthew Fox. Was that his name?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his name's Matthew Fox. He was in Party of Five. So he's been popular for a really long time, like on and off. But he had some like marital issues. I think he was getting DUIs, and I also think he got caught cheating on his wife. So people kind of started to look at him differently because he wasn't like what he was proclaiming to be, like a family man and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's where his career kind of tailed off.
Oh, okay.
I think my favorite show of all time, I'm going to take a lot of crap for this. My favorite show of all time might be the Andy Griffith Show. I love it.
Wow.
I love it. I think Don Knotts is a genius. Him as Barney Fife, he has the most subtle movements. Like when he goes into a room and he kind of like smells, like it's like him projecting his insecurities as overconfidence in that one movement. Like it's a great show. It's got really good values. It's very funny. Every show has a message. I don't know. You could show.
You
it
got
to anybody.
Opie in there.
It's Ron Howard's in there. Andy Griffith. Andy Griffith is really underrated. I think that he's one of those guys in Hollywood that he did Matlock for 10 years. He did the Andy Griffith Show forever. He was in movies. He was the main villain in Spy Hard. Did you ever see that movie with Leslie Nielsen? He was the bad guy who had no arms. I've seen
it, but I don't remember it.
I'm telling you, man, Andy Griffith is a star, big time star.
But but Don Knotts in that. I remember one episode where he was warning everybody that he knew karate. He was a dangerous weapon.
his body was a fine-tuned machine.
Yeah. That was pretty funny.
Don Knotts. Okay, so there's this episode where the police department was like, okay, you're gonna have to be 5'9", and you're gonna have to weigh 150 pounds to be a deputy. These are the new This is what you have to do. These are the new regulations. Well, of course, Don Knotts was 5'8" and 140 pounds. So Andy finds out about this. So he starts having Aunt Bee feed him like Don Knotts over like a bunch of food, and then they start stretching him. They put his head in this. They put his head in this device in a closet where he's basically hanging with a thing under his head and he's stretching. So by the end of the episode, he stretches out an inch, but he still couldn't make weight. He was still off by 3 pounds. So Andy's like, okay, it says here in the rule book that you can wear your standard issued police badges, but it doesn't say what you can hang the badges from. So Andy puts it on this big metal chain and tucks it under Don Knotts' shirt, and he weighs 151 pounds because of it. And that's just the kind of stuff that they did. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Wasn't he the sheriff though? Couldn't he have
Andy Griffith was the sheriff. Don Knotts was the deputy, and Don Knotts whenever Andy would go out of town, Don Knotts would be acting sheriff, and of course, every episode he would just screw everything up. All hell would break loose when he would be the sheriff for one day. You know what I'm saying? In a town of 100 people, he can't control it. Town's on fire. Everybody's fighting with each other.
Oh gosh!
Cars are piled up on the main street.
You ever see the ghost in Mr. Chicken?
Yes. He has to stay a night in that haunted house. Attaboy, Luther! Yeah, every scene, there's somebody in that movie saying, Attaboy, Luther! I think his name was Luther. Don Knotts' name was Luther. Oh. Because he was shy and he couldn't speak, So someone's rooting him on. It was the Rob Schneider thing, you can do it! 30 years before that
goodness.
Scene. Dude, Don Knotts on Three's Company was also really good. Did you ever watch any Three's Company episodes? Okay, so the premise of Three's Company...
Is it like My Three Sons?
No, not even close. Three's Company was a situational comedy. It had Susan Summers, Joyce DeWitt, and Jack Tripper. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad. What is his name? John Ritter. John Ritter.
Oh, Ritter, yeah.
John Ritter was the star of the show. We're going to have to edit that out because it had John Ritter, Joyce DeWitt, and Suzanne Summers. Don Knotts was their landlord, okay? But in order for John Ritter to live with these two women in this apartment complex, he had to pretend like he was gay because they didn't allow male, co-ed roommates in this building. So Don Knotts, of course, is just oblivious, and he thinks John Ritter's gay the entire series. But Don Knotts is also a swinger character. So he dresses in these crazy suits. He's got weird handkerchiefs tied around his neck. He's overly confident, just like Barney Fife was. He's oblivious to everything, just like Barney Fife was. I think he won a ton of Emmys for this character. You need to watch some of these episodes. It is.
Is it an old show? Like
it's from the 70s. Yes, it's good.
And it was like had that type of stuff in it.
Yes, but it wasn't like it was the premise, but it wasn't like it was risque for the time. But
yeah,
I'm telling you, man, that show was so good, dude. Don Knotts stole every scene. I heard that Don Knotts was so funny on the set of Three's Company that they would have to take away some of his lines in some of the scenes because his castmates couldn't keep it together. They would have to tone him down a little bit because his castmates couldn't keep a straight face in the scenes with him. He would bust everybody up on scene. They would have to tone him down, man. He was like the Bruce Lee of comedy. You know how
Robin Williams.
Yeah, he was just a star. He was great.
Yeah.
Are there any?
I'm surprised that you like those older shows more than the newer ones. Probably my next favorite would be Sherlock. Love that show. I didn't like the last season, but all the others were like, oh, I love it.
Really, I haven't even seen one episode of Sherlock.
Well, the very first episode was really cool because they followed the book pretty good. I was like, wow, that's going right into it. Like, it was really cool because in the book by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle,
mm-hmm.
He talks about how the doctor was coming back from Afghanistan, a war in Afghanistan, and guess what he's doing in the movie? And it's modern times, coming back from Afghanistan.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
the same thing.
They tied it in so well. I'm like,
that's crazy.
Goodness, that's really cool. I mean,
Major League Foresight.
Yeah. Great show. Love it.
What do you think about TV shows that they remake? Do you like remakes of TV shows? Like, hey, this was a hit in the 80s. Let's redo it.
Like, give me some examples.
Like so I'm pretty sure that they remade like Dallas. I'm pretty sure they had a Dallas remake. I'm sure they had.
Okay, so I haven't seen either. I saw a little bit of the new one. I didn't see any of the old one.
Hawaii Five-0. They remade Hawaii Five-0.
Same type of thing. So I guess I don't watch that much TV.
Fantasy Island. They remade those. I'm going to tell you what I think about it in one quick answer. I hate it.
Oh,
it's like it's a total cash grab. Why are you doing that? It's not necessary. Leave it alone. It was good. It was perfect to begin with. It's like my opinion with remaking movies. Like when they remade Point Break, the movie that I love, the surfing bank robbers.
Movie, yeah,
it's like my favorite movie. They remade it and it was
butchered it.
Horrible. It was horrible. Why? They were talking about remaking Back to the Future. Why would you try to remake a perfect film? I just don't get it. Yeah.
No, they need to add on to it, make it a big. I mean, you can have a whole universe there. Make something else.
If you're gonna do that, don't remake the original.
Add on to it.
Yeah, I'm sure Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox have both expressed interest. They would be open to a Back to the Future 4.
Yeah.
The problem is Robert Zemeckis and Steven Spielberg don't want to make another one. But because they're just like, hey, the trilogy's done, it's complete. But I'm telling you right now, if they made another Back to the Future, that movie would make $500 million. It would be huge. Yeah. It wouldn't even have to be a good movie. Just based on the name alone, it would be huge.
Right. Well, what Disney did, and this is one thing I think they did all right in, what Disney did, is did you see on Star Wars how they made like these side movies like Han Solo's story,
Rogue One, and those
Rogue
movies.
One. Yeah, I thought that was a great idea. You're just totally expanding, and you can go forever on those type of stories. I thought that Rogue One was a really good movie.
I think that you're right. I didn't like the Han Solo movie. I thought it was terrible casting for Han Solo. That was just my opinion. I don't think they did a very good job with that. Harrison Ford was so good in that role, though.
Oh yeah, you can't.
It's hard for me to see. Yeah, it's hard for me to see anybody else as
he was. He was amazing. Or Harrison Ford in that.
Yeah, he was amazing. You know, hey, here's a quick little tidbit about Harrison Ford. George Lucas had cast him in American Graffiti as a street racer.
Yeah.
So they were buddies. So he brought Harrison Ford in to read lines for Star Wars, but not for the role of Han Solo. He just brought him in to read as Han Solo.
I heard he was like a light guy or something.
He was like a carpenter.
Yeah.
So George Lucas is like, hey, you're my buddy. Can you come in and read as Han Solo? You know, and just we're gonna see these other people that are working trying to get other roles. You're going to be Han Solo. Well, he did such a good job as Han Solo, just helping out George Lucas, that George Lucas is like, okay, I've seen enough. You are Han Solo. You're Han Solo. We don't even have to have anyone else read. You're the guy.
Oh, that's good.
That is good. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a great actor.
I was going to say, though, on that, I totally went off on a tangent. What you were talking about, the Star Wars, though, The Mandalorian, the show on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
They knocked that out of the park. That could have been a film. They could have condensed that and made it just a movie.
Well, it's to me, when I watched it, it's just like watching a video game. Watching someone play a video game. It's the same everything of a video game. Same like plot.
Really?
Same. Yeah, if you walk around, find stuff. There's like little side quests and all that. It's like, wow, this is a video game made into a movie. It's just like pretty much watching Twitch. Someone play a Twitch.
Twitch is very popular, Ryan. Don't.
I'm not knocking it. I'm
good time army mad at us.
I'm just saying that it's just like a video game.
You're like Alex. I'm just telling you, it sucked. Okay.
No, I didn't say it sucked. I said it was like, wow.
Okay.
What do you think of it?
I thought it was great. I love The Mandalorian. I thought it was great. I thought it was really well done. I have a question though.
Oh,
this is good. This is a hot button. This might be the last thing we talk about for this episode.
All right.
What is a show that you haven't watched that everybody's talking about and has tried to peer pressure you into and guilt you for not having watched it? What is a show that fits that criteria?
Oh, probably Game of Thrones.
Okay.
I've watched like a couple episodes. It's too. Okay, did I mention I'm a Christian?
Yes.
It's too grotesque for me. I mean, okay, so I watched the first episode. In that episode, there is incest, and because they're having incest, one of the kids sees them, and the person, that's in trouble, he gets seen, he goes and just pushes him out the window and pushes him you think to his death, but I guess he lives. I mean, and some of the other stuff was just, I thought was super corny. Like, I think it's still in the first episode. There's a scene where this guy, he runs away from this mystical wall or something, and he was supposed to be guarding it. And he's like, oh, I ran from the wall, but I came to tell you something about walkers or whatever. And he goes, okay, son, you need to go chop his head off. And so I was like, oh, I can't do it. Well, you got to be a man. A man goes and chops people's heads off. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're really teaching him something.
Is this who is Axe Cop in Game of Thrones, right?
I know, pretty much could have been Axe Cop. He was just going around chopping people's heads off.
Chop your head off.
I'm like, dude, I'm not feeling it. It just feels like why violence for?
Hey.
I mean, like
and you don't need to. Hey, you don't.
Exactly.
You don't
It's true. It's true. It's true. It's not my thing. Just not my thing.
You know what show is not my thing? I am so tired of people telling me that I have to watch Breaking Bad. I'm sick of it. Now it's like I'm not gonna watch it just because you want me to watch it. It may be an amazing show, but guess what? I'm not gonna watch it because you're trying to force me to watch it. And now you're putting me in a corner. And I will put myself in a situation where I might enjoy it. But you know what? I don't want to enjoy it because I don't want you to get satisfaction out of it.
I think there was a joke going around, either I think it was Family Guy or something about that. Like, you gotta watch Breaking Bad. You gotta watch it. It's the best show.
Breaking Bad. You gotta see it. Breaking Bad.
You gotta see it. Yeah, it's like I heard about it on NPR, and I heard it got like a lot of people loved watching it. It was about some guy, making some drugs, and he's a school teacher or something.
He made blue meth because he got like diagnosed with cancer, so he needed to raise money to like help his family out because he was going to die. He was like a professor. He was like a genius, like a chemist.
Yeah.
So he made like the best meth.
He made the best meth. So he's like, I'm going to die, so I'm going to go out and ruin other people's lives and get them addicted to this crap. But
I'm going to set my family. I saw the first 2 episodes and they weren't bad. I was too busy. I was like, listen, I gotta watch Vanderpump Rules. I gotta see the Kardashians. I gotta see what's going on with Biggest Loser. You know, I got priorities, Ryan. I gotta watch old episodes of Andy Griffith for the 15th time. Unsolved Mysteries just became available on a couple streaming networks from the 80s. I gotta rewatch those. I'm busy, okay? I don't got time for this.
Well, not only that, Alex, you have your own production to do.
Yeah.
Good times. We got the people. We got the people to worry about here. We got to make sure they're having a good time.
Yeah, we're not doing a very good job right now. We got one viewer right now.
We had 3. We lost them.
We had 7 last time we streamed. We were up to 7.
Wow.
Yeah, we ruined it. It's over. The dream ended today.
Alex, we don't give up like that.
No way. No. We're gonna get to 8. We'll get to 8 or 9. That's the goal. The goal.
8
or 9 in the chat. Active chatters. Ryan, you got anything else for this episode?
No, man. I just got to say thank you to all our listeners. And you one person, you are clutch.
Thanks for hanging in there with us for all 3 hours tonight.
You are not the Tony Romo of football.
Oh, get out of here. How dare you.
Well, you know he wasn't clutch. He was like the opposite of clutch.
He never won any.
Yeah,
well, he won 2 playoff
like Tom
games.
Brady.
2 in like an 11-year career.
I know, it was sad. It was so heartbreaking to watch him play.
I know.
Anyways, well, thank you all for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, or if you're on another network, follow, whatever it is. Just hang out with us. We're having good times here, all right? All right? You want to have a good time? Hang out with us. All right? Later.
See you later, guys.
You're supposed to say mahalo, Alex. That's your phrase.
That's my tagline? Okay,
yeah.
Mahalo. Mahalo, everyone.
Bye.